work that we do as academics isn't simply in a vacuum. We work in a social context, we work in a political context, and we interact with that as well. And a lot of what we do has a tremendous impact in a broader context.
All academics are driven by a passion for their topic, and deep within that passion is a sense that research matters, not just for the individual researcher and not just for the network of researchers in that field, but for the world at large. And that's why we do it. When we train graduate students here, we're training them in things like knowledge transfer and public engagement, how to share your research with people outside the university, and the range of benefits that flow from deep, knowledgeable intellectual inquiry. Those benefits could be economic, could be social, could be cultural, could be a mix of all three. The university is in the world. It's not an ivory tower, and QUEDOS is a way in which we can translate that passion into engagement with people outside the world, and it's a fantastic opportunity.
HEFCE recognises that universities are an important hub for knowledge, that they play a very, very significant role in creating an innovative marketplace, in producing individuals that can compete not only in the UK market, but also in the world, that we are producing some of the best graduates in the world. And this is what HEFCE recognises.
It's a great opportunity for us in the sector to really pull together a range, a diversity of activities that are all outward facing, that all have a sort of social aspect, that deal with the wider community, and therefore, we can do this, we can deliver this. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity.
So QUEDOS is, of course, what it is because of the diversity and the breadth of academic research and excellence at Queen Mary. QUEDOS is an academic-led centre for the sector in humanities and social sciences. And that means that it's really driven by the academic practices, by the work of the departments and schools themselves.
And the exciting thing is that a lot of it is what we are already doing, so we can build on that. And I think it strengthens us as a group of departments, as a sector.
Essentially, universities do two things, or should do two things. They create knowledge and they disseminate knowledge. And we have a number of mechanisms by which we can do that, the dissemination that is. We do, of course, conventional teaching, but then we need to do other things. We need to disseminate our knowledge, disseminate our know-how, our skills to a much broader constituency than is covered by the conventional constituency of students. And QUEDOS is designed to do exactly that.
QUEDOS really highlights what we do and brings it together as a focal point for the outside world, for the world beyond the formal classroom, for the professions, for industry, for other researchers.
One of the great advantages, I think, of participants in QUEDOS programs at Queen Mary is that they're enabled to interact with individuals who are very much at the forefront of their fields. So Queen Mary academics are characterised as individuals who are not only content to keep up to date with the state of the art of their own fields, but are indeed creating that state of the art. And that provides a stimulation to participants in QUEDOS programs arising from that interaction with individuals, academics, who are very much at the top of their game, in fact leading their game.
That's what we're trying to capture in QUEDOS, this sense that the whole range of resources and talents and expertise that you can find in Queen Mary are channeled and put at your service. And I think the graduate school represents that sense that interdisciplinarity is the key to the most imaginative and resourceful work.
History is in fact a very good example of that collaboration, of that richness of a research community. There we have an example of the Mile End Group. Now this has grown into such a significant body of research, of collaboration with government, for events, for seminars, and it's something that was actually imagined and conceived and developed by the students themselves.
What we're looking at is this blending of the worlds, of showing great academic rigour, Queen Mary being, undoubtedly internationally renowned when it comes to its research, and bringing that to a wider audience, and also at the same time, hopefully and successfully, showing the world, and London especially, what we're doing and how we can make a real impact to so many different areas.
geography is a department with tremendous impact, and its commitment to knowledge transfer is very much a key part of the work that goes on in geography.
I mean, much of the work that we currently do, whilst it has a kind of focus on spatial, place-based and environmental type questions, deals with those questions through a very interdisciplinary framework, from kind of the geographies of health, the built environment and obesity, which is one of the areas of work we're working on in the department, which obviously has a whole set of connections across not only the sector at Queen Mary, Humanities and Social Sciences, but also beyond to the medical school and public health issues.
Queen Mary's academic traditions in the sector have also contributed to a real strength in the relevance of our research, in the application of our research in a broader social and political and economic context. Another very important example of that activity is the Centre for the Study of Migration.
The centre has a long history of involvement in the local area, in sort of research focusing on the Whitechapel area. It's the former director and the founder of the centre, Dr. Anne Kirshen, has an extensive work on the history of the Whitechapel area, on Huguenots, Jews, Bangladeshis and other communities of different layers of migration, if you like, that have come to this area. So obviously migration, I suppose, is a topic in today's world that touches on almost every single field, because we live in a world of mobilities of one sort or another, and we're looking really to expand what we do. We already have strong links with geography, law, politics, and of course myself here at the School of Languages, Linguistics and Film.
Languages are also a very important part of the academic work at Queen Mary, and indeed a very important part of everybody's commitment to an international community and to being members of that international community. Queen Mary's School for Languages, Linguistics and Film is an excellent example of that expertise in action, links between research excellence and academic practice, and practical exercises and work for the graduates, for the researchers themselves.
These language laboratories, multimedia language laboratories, are a modern computerized language learning facility. We have 3 of them, which can hold we can hold up to about 80 people altogether. In a university, you have well, of course, you've got a lot of academic expertise. There's an academic community of practice, and we have the research background. For example, we did a research project here last year in the labs called Teaching Techniques for Multimedia Language Labs, where we prepared some language learning exercises using computers, and then we observed those exercises in practice in the labs, and then we did an evaluation of those types of language learning activities, and this was all funded by the Centre for Excellence in Multimedia Language Learning.